Shares of Paramount trading higher, up about 7% after its earnings. The company beating on both the top and bottom line. Paramount also announcing investment management company KKR will purchase Simon Schuster from Paramount for $1.6 billion. For more on this, we want to turn to Wade Payson-Denney. Wade is PR and communications manager for Parrot Analytics. So, Wade, thank you so much for joining us. At first blush, in terms of these latest results, what's your take on Paramount?
Well, first, congrats to you on getting out at 100. Well done. But yeah, this is, I would say kind of to be expected. We have seen Paramount Plus growing its market share with originals, with on platform, had a really good quarter in terms of both of those metrics. So we often see that demand for original content is a leading indicator of subscriber growth. I think all of the media companies are going to report slightly better earnings this quarter, if anything, because they're not making new shows, because of the strikes. And then as far as the Simon & Schuster sale to KKR, I do think that's a sign of things to come. I do think more of these companies are going to be selling off linear, kind of like old school media arms to private equity as we move forward.
So do you think this is part of the great consolidation in streaming that people have been talking? I've been talking about this for years, something that's probably coming down the pike, or is this just part of a larger media reorganization cycle that just seems to happen every 10 to 20 years?
Maybe a bit of both. Like I think Paramount Global, what they've done with Paramount Plus as far as effectively, closing off Showtime, bringing all of that content onto Paramount Plus, that has helped with scale. I find it's hard for us to see really how Paramount Plus makes the jump to that top 3 streaming category that clearly Netflix, Disney, and Warner Brothers Discovery currently have a hold on. I think they're certainly an important player. They have really beloved franchises specifically, Star Trek and Taylor Sheridan fans, like they're not going to go anywhere else. And there's a lot of those. That's a big plus for Paramount Plus. And yeah, I think it does seem like, as far as Paramount Global is concerned, we saw reports of them trying to sell off BET earlier. Mm-hmm. I think if KKR is willing to actually make that acquisition, then I think either them or one of their competitors might be willing to look at BET, maybe even CBS. I think just based on the Simon & Schuster sale, I do think that that's not the last time we're going to see this kind of thing happen.
So there has been talk before about them potentially selling off CBS, but could you see that really happening given the sports piece of the business when you think about how lucrative sports is, and especially given the NFL access that CBS has?
Yeah, no, I think I don't see it happening in the short term. That CBS has the Super Bowl early next year, mm-hmm. At the conclusion of this season, and that's what, like $7 million for 30-second ads. Yeah, they're not going to get rid of that anytime soon. So yeah, and look, the NFL, that's really the NFL owns linear TV. If you look at last year, of the 100 most viewed broadcasts, 82 were NFL games. That's up from 75 in 2021. And I do think that that's only going to grow, especially with the lack of, scripted series that we'll be seeing at the beginning of the broadcast season next month.
We got a little bit of time here for one more. I'll give you the floor. Anything you haven't talked about here that you think is important to talk about in the Paramount discussion?
I think that I think soccer is a big deal. I think if you look at not just, obviously, kids playing it, those numbers are always growing. But if you look at soccer and television and streaming, Ted Lasso was a massive hit for Apple TV Plus. It really put Apple TV Plus on the map as far as like a home for Emmy-winning content. If you look at FX and Hulu with Welcome to Wrexham, the docuseries about Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's soccer club in Wales, that was a huge hit. Messi is just like taking mm-hmm. over Apple TV Plus. Paramount Plus has the UEFA Champions League. That's probably the top. That's like the pinnacle of club soccer competition worldwide. So I think having that in the U.S. is going to be a big asset. And I think they'll, they have the Serie A, which is, Italian soccer. It's not quite as big as the Premier League, but AC Milan is now owned by American ownership. So, I think they'll probably be taking advantage more of that as we move forward.
A different direction than I was expecting, Wade. I thought you were going to talk more about the impact of the writers and actors strike, which we'll certainly be watching if that, how much longer that takes and when it becomes damaging or more damaging to these companies. But we will have to leave it there for now. Wade, Payson-Denney, thank you so much for the deep dive into Paramount.